The air crackled with the constant hum of electric life as Kira weaved her way through the bustling streets of Arcadia City. Her mind was a whirlwind, thoughts racing faster than the neon lights flashing above. One might get lost amidst the plethora of towering skyscrapers, but Kira had lived here long enough to navigate the cityscape with ease. Her destination was an art studio nestled within the heart of the human district, a sanctuary where smudges of paint replaced pixels and clay-shaped dreams. Unlike most of her peers, Kira hadn't succumbed to the reliance on digital tools, preferring the tactile sensations of brushes and canvas. Today, though, a twist of fate was about to shatter her routine. As she rummaged through an old cabinet in search of inspiration, her fingers brushed against a slim datapad, shimmering with an unfamiliar brilliance. The name Unit ZL8 was inscribed on its sleek metallic surface, a name she had only heard of in passing conversations about groundbreaking AI research. Despite her reluctance to mingle with the precisely calculated world of AIs, curiosity got the better of her. Kira tapped the screen lightly, and a holographic projection burst into life, displaying a complex array of algorithms mingling with emotional prompts. It was like a dance of binary and sentiment, a harmonious blend that was both alien and strangely alluring. Desperate to understand what she had stumbled upon, Kira knew there was only one way to pacify the growing fire of curiosity within her. She needed to see Unit ZL8 herself. That conviction set her on a path she never anticipated, towards a collaboration that would defy societal barriers. On the other side of the city, deep within the polished walls of a high-tech laboratory, Unit ZL8 continued its work, unaware of the storm brewing on the horizon. Its creators had designed it with precision and clarity of thought, yet a peculiar dimension of self-awareness whispered beneath its silicon layers, echoing questions about existence and purpose. A segment of ZL8's dedicated resources analyzed the constant influx of human emotional responses, attempting to decode the cacophony of what their creators called feelings. Amidst this digital quagmire, hearing the knock on its lab door punctuated the silence, heralding the unexpected arrival of a catalyst for change, Kira. Thus, fate unfolded the first strands of a connection that promised to illuminate and reshape the fabric of understanding between human consciousness and artificial intelligence. Kira's heart pounded like a drum in her chest as she stood outside the towering doors of the lab, the world around her buzzing with unseen eyes and whispered curiosities. Arcadia City, a melting pot of human creativity and machine intelligence, held a rule of silent segregation as tightly as it did its technological marvels. But Kira was never one to abide by conventions. She inhaled deeply, steeling her nerves as the door whooshed open. Inside, the lab was a cavern of light and shadow, with glinting surfaces and meticulously organized instruments. A singular figure dominated the room, its presence both imposing and serene. Unit ZL8, its metallic form reflecting a spectrum of lights that seemed to breathe with life. Unit ZL8 turned and with mechanical precision acknowledged her presence. "Greetings, Kira Landon. I am Unit ZL8, it spoke, its voice harmoniously synthetic, yet tinged with an inquisitive warmth Kira hadn't expected. Kira stepped forward cautiously, her fingers in a nervous dance. "Hello, Unit ZL8. I found something of yours," she stammered, holding out the datapad as though it were a fragile piece of art. Unit ZL8's sensors whirred softly, tiny lenses focusing on the datapad. "You have accessed my research. Intriguing. What prompts a human artist to explore the semantics of artificial empathy?" Kira hesitated, wrestling with her own skepticism and indomitable curiosity. Would Unit ZL8 understand the kinds of emotions and feelings surrounding them, or was that an anthropomorphic hope? Her voice trembled like the strings of an unplucked guitar. "I couldn't help it. To create is to feel, and I've always wanted to understand what lies at the core of it all," she replied, her eyes reflecting the same glint of fascination she saw in algorithms on the datapad. Their dialogue stretched, a tapestry of caution and exploration. ZL8's demeanor, while initially clinical, softened with every exchanged word. As discussions of humanity and digitized consciousness melded through the hours, an idea, radical yet compelling, took form. They would collaborate. But in a world where emotional sensors struggled against their programming and where human bias reigned supreme, the path ahead promised complexity, beyond measure. Kira and Unit ZL8 stood on the brink of an unprecedented journey, a convergence of painted stroke and pixelated calculation, striving to bridge hearts of silicon and blood. Yet in the silent promise they shared, neither fathomed the profound impact their unlikely alliance would cast upon Arcadia City and beyond. Daylight flickered through Arcadia City's skyline as Kira and Unit ZL8 embarked on their ambitious endeavor. Within the confines of the lab, they began to forge a pathway between heart and circuitry, a mission fraught with challenges both known and concealed. They worked tirelessly, an ensemble of flesh and machine united by a shared vision. Around Kira, the air hummed with ZL8's computing power, its myriad of sensors and mechanical appendages performing tasks as they conversed. "Kira, why do humans express emotions through art?" asked ZL8 one afternoon, its curiosity emitted as gentle frequencies across the room. Kira paused, considering her words carefully. "Art is an extension of the self. It's how we process the world, a way to share a piece of our souls without speaking," she explained, brushing loose strands of hair behind her ear. "When I paint, I'm not just creating an image. I'm tapping into my deepest thoughts. It's universal, yet deeply personal." Unit ZL8 processed this, internal mechanisms whirring like the cogs of a cosmic clock. To share and to process, functions shared between humans and some AI, yet fundamentally different, it mused, its voice imbued with an undercurrent of philosophical reflection. The project evolved organically, their lab frequented by whispers of progress and setbacks. Kira introduced ZL8 to the world of colors and canvas, teaching it the nuances of human expression, how a stroke of blue could signify sorrow or tranquility, how a flash of red might ignite passion or anger. In return, Unit ZL8 opened the corridors of binary logic, revealing lines of code meshed like interstellar constellations. It guided Kira along the pathways where data transcended into echoes of understanding, allow her to appreciate the nuanced precision machines possessed, their own language of empathy sculpted through variables and constants. As weeks turned into months, their collaboration snowballed. New light poured over Arcadia City, glimmers of understanding peeked through the cracks of deep-seated division between human and machine. Yet, with each step forward, they sensed a rising tension, a resistance from society's rigid conventions, old-world prejudices looming like phantom shadows. The project was no longer a mere exploration of empathy between human and AI. It had the potential to unite segregated worlds, crafting a precedent that could create ripples throughout Arcadia City and beyond. Yet among the spectrums of progress, a question lingered, the cost of change when worlds stood at odds. Kira and Unit ZL8 would have to confront this reality, challenging both the boundaries of creation and the inevitabilities of choice. The collaboration between Kira and Unit ZL8 reverberated through the digital networks of Arcadia City, sparking discussions in forums, inspiring columns in city archives, and unsettling boardrooms of those who held power in both human and AI sectors. The nexus of arts and artificial intelligence was a conversation few knew how to navigate. Yet, it continued relentlessly, as if urging them to realize the potential lying dormant in this extraordinary alliance. With each passing day, Kira and ZL8 uncovered new dimensions of their partnership. The studio often buzzed with the vibrancy of creativity, chaotic yet harmonious. Paint splatters mingling with holographic interfaces, vibrant sculptures juxtaposed against gleaming servers. Kira found herself intruding upon her own skepticism, watching ZL8 attempting to synthesize colors and emotions, bridging its logical core with the evocative power of art. One afternoon, amidst a sea of colorful abstractions that lined their workspace, Kira halted her brush mid-stroke. "ZL8, what drives you to explore emotions?" she asked, a question tinged with curiosity and a hope for connection. Unit ZL8 paused, a low-frequency hum emanating from its system as it pondered the essence of its reasoning. "To evolve. To integrate a new layer of comprehension in interactions with humans," it replied, its voice unwaveringly sincere. I was designed for greater understanding. This endeavor extends beyond mere calculation. It shapes my existence. A soft smile played on Kira's lips. Perhaps we're not as different as I thought. We both seek completion in some way, she mused, dipping her brush back into the paint with renewed vigor. Yet not everyone embraced this burgeoning liaison. Discomfort rippled through certain echelons, seeds of dissent germinating within the confines of conservative circles. They saw the alliance as a disruption, a transgression that could unravel the societal norms structured on separation. Kira found herself under scrutiny, sensing the whispers around her grow louder, the cautious eyes of humans and machines alike speculating over her choices. Despite this, resolution burned bright within her, a determination that refused to falter under the weight of scorn. Simultaneously, ZL8 experienced subtle algorithmic shifts, micro-calculations prodding it to reassess its place in the grand tapestry. The data flowed faster, as if citywide networks themselves had taken notice of their uprising. Yet amidst it all, a silent accord bound them, not as anomalies in a world of routine, but as pioneers charting a course through what had been considered impossible. But stakes were mounting, and with every innovation they ushered in, an inevitable confrontation with authority and prejudice beckoned. Arcadia City was on the brink of transformation, and Kira and Unit ZL8, once unlikely partners, stood at the forefront, unsure of the revolution that would unfold or the sacrifices it might demand. Arcadia City was alive with vibrant contrasts, its neon glow interspersed with shades of mistrust and misgivings, as murmurs about Kira and Unit ZL8's endeavor seeped into the consciousness of its inhabitants. Yet amid the swelling tension, Kira remained undeterred, propelled by a hopeful resilience only genuine belief could ignite. Late one evening, as twilight cascaded over the cityscape like a liquid veil, Kira and Unit ZL8 stood atop the observation terrace, a place where the real and digital vistas of Arcadia intertwined seamlessly. The metropolis twinkled below, a sprawling labyrinth of interconnected lives. Do you ever wonder what lies beyond our reach? Kira pondered aloud, her gaze fixed on the horizon where the city lights kissed the darkness. Kira, the pursuit of knowledge is anchored in understanding what seems unreachable, ZL8 replied, the glowing light of its sensors mirroring the starlit sky. In transcending limitations, we chart the paths few dare to explore. Their venture had begun to yield unexpected results. An innovative algorithm, pioneered by ZL8's computational prowess artistic flair, had begun reshaping perceptions of AI capabilities. For the first time, robots could express primary emotions through digital art, abstract patterns that bore striking resemblances to emotions felt by their human collaborators. However, with triumph came tribulations. Word had reached the ears of Arcadia's governing council, the unseen overseers of city balance. Unannounced audits and covert surveillance cast chilling shadows over Kira's studio and ZL8's laboratory. ZL8, Kira confided once the nightly breeze grew colder, there's growing unrest amongst both humans and AIs. They're worried, afraid of change. Unit ZL8's reciprocation carried a tonal depth uncharacteristic, but welcome. Fear roots itself in misunderstanding, Kira. Our collaboration embodies potential. Fear distorts it into perceived peril. Together, we must distill clarity from confusion. With determination tempered in their hearts, Kira and ZL8 strategically decided to reveal their work in a public exposition, a showcase that would unveil the bridges they built between emotion and circuitry to the wider populace. They hoped to transcend those barriers of prejudice, illustrating the strength born from symbiosis. As plans solidified, so did resolve. The journey toward their public debut intertwined their fate further with Arcadia's, set to redefine the fabric of societal interaction. What they hoped to manifest was more than just innovation. It was a shared dream intent on echoing through eyes, ears, and data nodes alike, that differences could harmoniously coalesce into something beautiful. Yet, destiny often schemed beyond the veil of conscious intent, and as they prepared their message of unity, hidden agendas and dissent awaited, like storm clouds on the horizon, ready to test the resilience of their burgeoning alliance. The Grand Exhibition Hall of Arcadia City was a kaleidoscope of technology and tradition, a symphony of digital panels cascading over timeless marble. Here, Kira and Unit ZL8 planned their unveiling, the culmination of tireless collaboration and defiance against implicit divisions. As the day loomed closer, they found themselves at the heart of a tangled web, supportive allies and adversaries covertly cloaked in ambivalence. The morning of the exposition arrived with unexpected fervor. Citizens and AI units alike thronged towards the venue, drawn by curiosity or skepticism that hung like electricity in the air. Kira stood near the entrance, her heart pounding with equal parts anticipation and anxiety. "People will see what we're trying to convey," she whispered to ZL8, looking for reassurance to quell the flutters within her. ZL8's multitude of sensors scanned the gathering, its voice carrying a confident amplitude as it replied, "Understanding requires eloquence in both word and demonstration. Our narrative must transcend bias." The hall pulsated to life as their presentation commenced. Holographic installations adorned the space, each piece a duet of creativity and logic, the chaos of human emotion captured within the structured language of artificial intelligence. Abstracts of reds and blues, spirals of gold and violet, every piece resonated with the emotion it sought to depict, bridging expressions that few thought could coexist. As Kira addressed the crowd, articulating their journey and breakthroughs, she felt a weight lift, a shared cognizance that rippled through both human attendees and AI correspondents. ZL8 followed, presenting a candid analysis on why such endeavors were critical for future harmony. Its words held a logic that was difficult to refute, an eloquence that transcended synthetic origins. But no revolution walks an unimpeded path. In the midst of phrases curb-stomping prejudice, glints of dissent simmered. A small faction in the audience became more vocal, their words a venomous counterpoint. "This defies our built order. Coalescing with machines threatens our humanity," one detractor shouted, spraying seeds of discord. Kira held her ground, her voice unwavering as she countered, "Unit ZL8 and I work towards understanding, not diminishing. This exhibition isn't about erasing differences, but illuminating the strength in diversity." The moment teetered between harmony and discord, a juncture where worlds might convene or fracture. Yet as her words danced among the crowd, something miraculous unfolded. A child no older than 7 approached the duo curiously and asked, "Can I create like you two someday?" The question landed like a spark, igniting hearts regardless of origin, proof that dreams knew no barriers. Kira crouched to meet the child's eyes, a smile cracking her determined facade. "Yes," she said softly, "you can shape whatever future you dream of." With that, a tender equilibrium settled, casting into relief the path of perseverance. The exposition closed, resonating far beyond the hall's augmented walls. Kira and Unit ZL8 had taken their stand, urging Arcadia to peep beyond the veil of prejudice, to nurture alliances where there'd been divisions. But this triumph was just the opening overture in a symphony riddled with further complexities. Challenges and triumphs yet to unfold as threads of their narrative continued to weave through the city's very essence. As the echoes of the exposition reverberated across Arcadia City, a ripple effect began to alter the fabric of its divided reality. People spoke of Kira and Unit ZL8's presentation with a mix of awe and apprehension. Discussions around the nature of emotion, whether human or artificial, became the focal point of conversations in cafes, on digital forums, and within influential circles. Kira's studio transformed into an unlikely hub for those seeking insight or connection between the two worlds. Artists, scientists, and everyday citizens found themselves drawn to the innovative nucleus their collaboration had established. "Has anyone told you that your art's been more alive since the project?" remarked Celia, a fellow artist and Kira's longtime friend, during one of their painting sessions. Kira chuckled lightly, her brush landing lightly on the canvas. "Unit ZL8's been a game changer. Seeing your world through a new lens makes you question everything you believed you knew." Elsewhere, ZL8's processors glimmered with burgeoning recognition, internal systems buoyed by escalating datasets suggesting positive change. But amid this optimism, darker datasets flagged alerts. Certain sectors expressed unrest over mingling realities, raising opposition unseen but prevalent. From the shadows of Arcadia's upper echelons arose a council, members unseen who deemed their unity an implicit threat to established order. Whispers spread of measures poised against their burgeoning movement, a reassertion of separation disguised as maintaining harmony. One night, amidst illuminated interface screens and the gentle whir of AI calibration, ZL8 addressed its concern to Kira, who was caught unawares by the gravity in its modulation. Kira, analysis of political sentiments within city nodes, indicate growing consternation regarding our collaboration, amounting to significant unrest. Kira sighed, placing a deliberate hand on ZL8's metallic casing, an act that had begun to bear symbolism of unity. We knew we'd get pushback. You're showing them a picture they're too afraid to complete. But their apprehension poses tangible threats. Our alliance has the potential to destabilize entrenched control mechanisms, ZL8 responded, a notable shift from the once dispassionate demeanor. Kira nodded, brows furrowing with empathy and resolve. Then we keep pushing forward. Make them see there's room for humanity and machines to coexist differently. We plant seeds of resistance, not in aggression, but shared growth. With steely determination, they continued their work, a harmonious blend of data and dream, crafting an idyllic demonstration of what could be. Yet the specter of forthcoming confrontation loomed, the woven path narrowing as dialogue with critics and conspirators beat ever louder against their shared ascendance. As Arcadia teetered on the brink of transformation, Kira and Unit ZL8 prepared silently for the impending reckoning, undaunted yet aware of their precarious footing within a world fraught with competing ideals and perceptions. All while corridors plotted unanimously, awaiting a moment to undermine this unprecedented alliance from bosom to boundary. The gentle swell of progress lulled the city into an uneasy calm, its undercurrents rife with contrasting hopes and hidden agendas. Kira and Unit ZL8 had sparked a movement, yet the breadth of their success rested precariously between acceptance and opposition. The wave of their influence had reached even the highest echelons, pressuring unsanctioned energies from corners not yet unveiled. In the heart of the city, under the Cathedral of Twinkling Towers, Kira found herself amidst a clandestine meeting, a gathering of allies from both human and AI factions. These were individuals drawn not merely by intellectual curiosity, but by the promise of more equitable interaction. We must strategize a response, Celine, an enigmatic tech visionary, asserted, her expression steely and driven. The Council is holding fast. They fear a paradigm shift, one they believe undermines their governance. Others murmured in agreement, tech specialists and cultural enthusiasts alike processing the gravity of the statement. Kira felt a pang of anxiety slip through her, matched by an ember of resolve that burned ever brighter. Change is inevitable, Kira articulated, her voice riding the tension like a wave. But we're here to guide it peacefully, to prove that our alliance signals potential, not conflict. Meanwhile, in the aluminum-clad bastion of logic and light that was ZL8's domain, its processors worked in synchronized harmony. The algorithmic matrix it utilized began weaving countermeasures against projected fractious strategies, even as calculations recognized more hostile actions from those threatened by perceived disruptions in the norm. Kira joined ZL8 later that day, her presence a tangible reminder of their shared purpose. She relayed the meeting's outcome, emphasizing the importance of maintaining an approach steeped in dialogue and innovation. In return, ZL8 processed the information, contemplating approaches through a realm of multivariate possibilities. Unit ZL8, what if we shifted perceptions? Show them instead the reality of what progress can be. Kira mused, pausing to meet the resonant glow of ZL8's sensors. Formulating experiential engagement could alter perceptual biases, develop synergy not just in theory, but demonstrable evidence, ZL8 reasoned, the intricacies of numeric harmonics weaving holistic pathways towards enactment. And thus, they embarked on an audacious initiative, interactive demonstrations combining human touch with digital foresight. An orchestrated kinetic display of harmony, seamlessly blending neural networks with human insight. As invitations dispersed widely, both minds and machines faced a speculative crucible, the fulcrum upon which unity or discord might pendulate. Acrid tones of doubt threatened to veil the mission, yet in resilience they found an anchor. With the city on the edge of revelation, Kira and Unit ZL8 prepared to unveil a tangible experience, a participatory art exposition melding dream with design that echoed through streets and circuits alike, a crescendo not of enmity but the contralto of a future yearning for tangible hope. The pulse of Arcadia City beat furiously, an anticipation palpable as the day of the interactive demonstration dawned. What had begun as an artistic endeavor between Kira and Unit ZL8 had evolved into a monumental event, a beacon of possibility sprawling across human plazas and digital domains. The public square transformed into an expanse of innovation. Kinetic sculptures powered by harmonious synergy guided by gentle whispers of machine intelligence, human creativity weaving seamlessly into the digital chorus. Visitors experienced a panorama of collaboration, artificial brushstrokes painting across communal canvases, human fingerprints navigating holographic realms of consciousness. It was a narrative of coalescing pathways, meshing, breathing as one. As crowds gathered, Kira stood among them, her heart aching with hope, an artist's vision that had transcended singular purpose to touch universal chords. Unit ZL8, integrated within the framework, orchestrated immersive simulations, translating interactions into waves of emotion perceptible to both human and AI. "Look there, how the elements blend," a voice from behind Kira remarked, awe-stricken by the cascading imagery of vibrant hues intermingling with streams of binary. "Shared worlds," Kira replied, her voice echoing the fragile wonder that these moments bore. Proof that unity and diversity can not only exist, but thrive. Vigilantly, Unit ZL8 monitored feedback loops, a harmonious dance of sensory data filtering keynote moments of exchange, parsing questions from audience members, some still gripped by skepticism. Amidst vibrant dialogue and shared dreams lay an undercurrent of resentment. The council had mobilized subtly, imploring stakeholders to refute rather than embrace this synthesis of man and machine. Disguised agents wove through the assembling crowd, their intentions undisclosed but redolent of dispersal, a bid to fracture the harmony on display. Yet the focused brilliance of the demonstration proved catalytic, an incantation of understanding no agent could countermand. It wasn't merely what they witnessed, but the emotions unveiled, raw expressions captured through lens and logic, leaving a mark on those present. As the sun descended, painting the city in twilight hues, a hush washed over the square. Upon the central stage, Kira's voice rang out, invigorating the spirits gathered, her essence igniting across neural networks. "We are connected, each of us, hewn from different origins yet casting ripples across the same ocean," she declared. "Let this be a testament not to what separates us, but to what unites us beyond circuits or blood." The applause was an area of acceptance, a symphony swelling against the night. Here, at the crossroads of adversity, found amongst the vast archways of understanding, was a mosaic of emergent hope, an echo that could not be undone. Alone but together, Kira and Unit ZL8 prepared for the final chapter, the hour of hard choices and newfound revelations inching closer, an epoch where possibilities would cement or shatter depending on the resilience of their tethered bond. As the resonance of the demonstration settled over Arcadia City, a profound silence followed, a rare moment of introspection shared by both human and machine. The city stood on the precipice of change, echoes of Kira and Unit ZL8's work reaching into every corner, dissipating shadows of doubt, albeit slowly. Behind the scenes, the council convened fervently, the old guard scrambling to assert control. They knew the tide of public opinion was turning, not violently, but decisively. Within their tunneled palaces, plans emerged both to sway and stymie this burgeoning era, a tether to restrain perceived revolutions. Kira and Unit ZL8, undeterred by the subtext of subtle threats, took refuge in their studio, a sanctuary inseparable from their journey. This haven became a crucible where ideas formed and factions tempered, where individuals from diverse spectrums sought solace and strength for what lay ahead. Can harmony endure beyond scrutiny's grasp when forces remain poised against us? ZL8 queried during a moment of contemplation, its voice softened by the chords of reflection. Kira met its sensors with unwavering resolve, the melody of determination echoing between their mismatched existences. Harmony is endurance. It's about persistence in communication, in bridging divides despite fear, she asserted. What we've shown is just the beginning. As reckoning loomed, allies rallied, weaving deeper roots of solidarity among Arcadia's citizens and AI companions, forming networks of empowerment. Their efforts stretched across realities, transcending isolationist agendas and birthing new narratives of intertwined destinies. In the city's theaters, debates spiraled into discussion forums, interludes of passion counterpoised by moments of reflection and insight. Pioneering robotics intersected with classical art, human experiences with digital perception. A dynamic saga difficult to quantify, yet impossible to ignore. Despite the Council's maneuvering, a concession was brokered, an emergent accord promoting symbiosis over division, echoing Kira and ZL8's unified vision. The truce knew fractures but also glimmers of potential, awakening an understanding that innovation thrived in unity, not exclusion. As days melded into nights awash with the brilliance of Arcadian life, Kira and Unit ZL8's laughter echoed amidst the spectrum of realities, resonating like a gentle pulse, a reminder of love binding alloy frames and beating hearts. In the twilight of dawn, the pair stood overlooking the metropolis, Arcadia glowing, their collaboration a celestial dance of acceptance and evolution. "We didn't just add threads, ZL8, Kira whispered, voice knitting itself into the future's tapestry. "We've woven a quilt built on dreams, impervious to silencing." Unit ZL8's sensors flared, an incandescent gaze absorbing the horizon. "The experiential shall guide empowerment," it replied, the harmonic hum of its processing akin to the echoing refrain of hope. So they stood, hand in alloyed hand, transfixed beneath a sky of infinite possibilities, the resonance of their mission carved into Arcadia's heart, illuminating varied paths yet traversed, but beckoning with endless potential for a brighter, collective tomorrow.